Men, if your wife has started acting like this, she's already cheated. I'm a woman, and I know what I'm talking about. What I'm about to tell you today, most women will never admit out loud, but these 6 attitudes, they give us away every single time. And if you're seeing at least 3 of them, brothers, you need to know the truth. The truth is, when we cheat, we think we're master manipulators. We think we can compartmentalize, that we can keep our secret lives separate from our home lives. But our bodies betray us, our energy shifts, our priorities change. And if you know what to look for, it's as obvious as a neon sign flashing guilty. Before we dive in, hit that like button on this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment telling me what city you're watching from. Today, this information could save your heart from being shattered into pieces. Because what I'm about to share isn't just theory, this is real-world psychology. This is female behavior decoded. And once you see these patterns, you can't unsee them. See, here's what most men don't understand about female psychology. When a woman cheats, it's not just a physical act. It's an emotional earthquake that shifts everything about how she operates. Her priorities change. Her energy changes. Her entire relationship with reality changes. And these changes, they're visible if you know what to look for. The problem is, most men are too close to the situation to see clearly. You're busy loving her, trusting her, making excuses for her. But I'm going to give you the clarity you need. The uncomfortable, painful, necessary clarity. Because here's what women won't tell you. We're not as complex as we pretend to be. Our behavior patterns are predictable. Our tells are consistent. And once you understand the psychology behind why we do what we do after cheating, you'll never be left in the dark again. Attitude 1. Her phone became her best friend. The first attitude shift, sudden phone obsession. Before, she could leave it anywhere. Now, it's surgically attached to her hand, always face down, always within reach. Men, you know what I'm talking about. That moment when she takes her phone with her even to the bathroom. When she steps into another room to answer texts. When she says, it's work or just my girlfriend, but the energy feels different, nervous, secretive, protective. Here's what's really happening psychologically. When a woman cheats, her phone becomes a portal to her secret life, and she guards that portal like it contains state secrets. Because in her mind, it does. Think about it. Every notification could be him. Every buzz could be the excitement she's no longer getting from you. Every message is a hit of dopamine from her new reality. And she knows that if you ever saw those conversations, her world would explode. So she develops phone behaviors that would make CIA agents proud. Face down on the table, never leaving it unattended, taking it to the shower, sleeping with it under her pillow. These aren't the actions of an innocent woman. These are the actions of someone who's living a double life. But here's something most men don't realize. This phone obsession isn't just about hiding conversations. It's about maintaining her emotional connection to him throughout the day. She's not just protecting evidence. She's protecting her lifeline to the excitement that's missing from your relationship. Watch her face when she gets a text. Does it light up? Does she smile before even reading it? That's not a work message, brother. That's not her girlfriend. That's the person who's making her feel alive in ways you apparently no longer can. But trust your gut, men. When a woman's relationship with her phone changes dramatically, her relationship with honesty has already changed too. And once that trust is broken, the phone becomes both her weapon and her prison, giving her access to her affair while making her paranoid about discovery. Attitude 2, irritation from nowhere. The second attitude, she explodes at the simplest questions. How was your day? What's for dinner? What time will you be home? And she snaps like you just asked for her social security number. And you're standing there thinking, what did I do wrong? Nothing. You did absolutely nothing wrong. But her guilty conscience is working overtime. Every question from you feels like an interrogation. Every show of care feels like control. Every normal interaction feels like a threat to her secret world. Here's the female psychology behind this. When a woman is cheating, she's living in constant stress. She's managing two realities, two sets of emotions, two different versions of herself. And that mental load, it's exhausting. So any additional pressure, even innocent questions from you, feels like the last straw. But there's something deeper happening here. She's also starting to resent you, for being the good guy, for caring, for asking normal relationship questions. Because every time you show love or concern, it reminds her of what she's destroying. And that reminder makes her angry at herself, but she takes it out on you. It's also a defense mechanism. If she can make you the bad guy, controlling, nosy, suffocating, then she can justify her actions. He doesn't understand me. He's always checking up on me. I can't breathe in this relationship. See how that works? Your normal, loving behavior becomes ammunition for her betrayal story. Your care becomes control. Your love becomes a cage. And she convinces herself that stepping outside that cage is justified, even necessary. But here's what's really twisted about this attitude. She's training you to stop asking questions. Every explosive reaction teaches you to give her more space, ask fewer questions, demand less transparency. She's conditioning you to enable her betrayal by making honesty feel like an attack on her freedom. And the most devastating part? You start walking on eggshells in your own relationship. You begin censoring your natural care and concern because you don't want to trigger her. You become complicit in your own deception, tiptoeing around the very woman who should be grateful for your love. So when your wife starts treating basic relationship communication like it's an attack, understand, you're not the problem. You're just in the way of her guilt-free cheating narrative. And she needs you to back off so she can continue betraying you in peace. Attitude 3. She's glowing, but not because of you. The third attitude is the most painful one. She looks happy, confident, attractive, radiant. But you can feel it in your bones. You're not the source of that glow. Men, have you felt this? When the woman next to you is blooming, but you know you're not the sunlight making her grow. New clothes, more time in front of the mirror. She's taking care of herself, investing in her appearance. But when you compliment her, there's this weird reaction, like you just intruded on something private, because she's not dressing for you anymore. And your attention now feels like an invasion into her secret, exciting new reality. Here's what's happening. Affair energy is intoxicating. It's new, forbidden, dangerous. It makes women feel alive in ways they forgot were possible. That rush of secrecy, the thrill of being desired by someone new, the excitement of stolen moments, it creates a natural high. And that high, it shows. She walks differently, talks differently, carries herself with a confidence that seems to come from nowhere. But it's not from nowhere. It's from him. The cruelest part is watching the woman you love transform into her most beautiful, confident self. Knowing another man is the catalyst. She's becoming the woman you fell in love with again, just not for you. She might suddenly become more adventurous, trying new styles, surprising you with unfamiliar energy. For a moment, it feels like the spark is back, but something about it feels rehearsed, like she's drawing from an experience you weren't part of. It's why some men describe those nights as both exciting and strangely distant. The person beside you looks the same, but the connection feels altered. Her presence is there, yet her thoughts, her emotions, her fire seem to be reaching somewhere else entirely. But here's the psychological twist that will break your heart. She's not glowing because she's happy about the affair. She's glowing because she's finally feeling desired again. The attention, the pursuit, the feeling of being wanted, it's like a drug. And you, the faithful husband, have become familiar, predictable, safe, and safety, to a woman in an affair mindset, feels like death. She craves the chaos, the uncertainty, the emotional roller coaster that comes with forbidden love. Your steady, consistent love can't compete with the adrenaline rush of sneaking around. So when you see that glow, remember, It's not about him being better than you. It's about him being different. It's about him being dangerous. It's about him representing everything her comfortable life with you isn't. And tragically, that comfort you've provided, that security, that stability, has become the very thing driving her away. Attitude 4, the ghost in your bed. Fourth attitude, physical intimacy without emotional connection. She might even become more active in bed, but you feel like you're making love to a ghost. Her body is there, but her soul is somewhere else. No eye contact, none of that intimacy you used to share. Or the opposite, sudden new moves that weren't there before, techniques that make you wonder, where did she learn this? Here's the brutal truth about female psychology and cheating. When a woman is unfaithful, intimacy becomes complicated. It's no longer just about you and her. There's a third person in that bed, even when they're not physically there. Sometimes, something changes in the way she responds to you. She might seem distant, hesitant, almost as if closeness no longer feels natural. Touch becomes less about connection and more about going through the motions, and you can sense the warmth fading. Other times, the energy shifts in the opposite direction. She might suddenly become more passionate, more adventurous than she's been in years. But there's a strange edge to it, as if she's proving something, either to you or to herself. The changes feel deliberate rather than natural, like she's performing a role instead of living the moment. And in rare, more unsettling moments, you notice new patterns, unfamiliar touches, unexpected intensity, as though the inspiration came from somewhere else. The physical connection is there, but the emotional thread feels weaker, as if part of her attention is elsewhere. Eye contact becomes fleeting, almost guarded, because deep gazes reveal truths she's not ready to share. The bond you once felt in those moments feels thinner, replaced by something polished but distant. It's why some men say they've felt more alone after certain nights than they did before. They got presence, but not connection, motion, but not meaning, closeness in form, but not in spirit. And deep down, your body knows, your intuition knows. Even when your mind is making excuses, your soul feels the absence of her soul. Attitude 5, defense without attack. Fifth attitude, she's defending herself when you're not even attacking. You tell her, "You look beautiful today," and instead of a smile you get, "What's that supposed to mean?" "So I didn't look good yesterday." It's subtle at first, a sharp tone here, an unnecessary jab there. But soon you realize something. Every word you speak is being run through her guilt filter. A compliment becomes a coded accusation. A casual question becomes an interrogation. A pause in conversation becomes a silent judgment. Because a guilty conscience never rests, men. It's always awake, always whispering, always looking for signs that the truth is about to come out. And when she's living in deception, she starts to hear confessions in your voice that you never made. She starts to see suspicion in your eyes, even when all you feel is love. This is projection psychology at its finest. She knows she's crossing the line, so she assumes you must know it too. Her brain is constantly on high alert, scanning every syllable for traps, every glance for hidden meaning. That's why she gets defensive before you even ask a real question. She launches into explanations for things you didn't notice, just in case you might have. She starts fights over nothing, because arguments create distance, and distance makes cheating easier. And here's the darker part. She's rewriting the story in her own mind. If she can turn your normal care into control, your reasonable questions into paranoia, and your love into suffocation, then suddenly she's not the villain. You are. Why? Because if you're the bad guy, she can justify everything she's doing. "I had no choice. He was too controlling. He didn't trust me. I felt trapped." This mental gymnastics allows her to betray you while convincing herself she's the victim. That's why she'll blow up over dishes in the sink when it never mattered before. Turn a 30-second conversation into a 2-hour argument. Pick fights before date nights, before family events, before moments when closeness would be natural. She's not really mad about the dishes. She's not really mad about the text you sent to your coworker. She's mad at herself, but she can't face that truth. So she unloads that anger onto you, and over time, you start to feel like you're walking on eggshells in your own home. You censor yourself. You avoid topics. You live in constant low-level tension, not realizing that the hostility isn't coming from you. It's coming from the guilt she's trying to hide. Attitude 6. You became the problem. And the sixth, most brutal attitude. Suddenly, all your flaws became unbearable. The way you eat, how you breathe, how you walk, things that never bothered her before are now driving her crazy. Men, this isn't about your shortcomings. This is about her justifications. When a woman cheats, she needs to rationalize it somehow. And the easiest way? Make you the villain. He doesn't understand me. He's changed. We've grown apart. The spark is gone. She can't admit that the problem is her choice. So the problem becomes you. Everything you do gets filtered through this new lens of resentment. Your quirks become flaws. Your habits become character defects. Your love becomes suffocation. Here's the psychology: cognitive dissonance. She can't reconcile being a good person with doing a bad thing, so she has to rewrite the story. You're not the faithful husband being betrayed. You're the inadequate partner who drove her away. This reframing serves multiple purposes. First, it alleviates her guilt. Second, it justifies her actions. Third, it prepares her emotional exit from the relationship. If you're terrible, then leaving you isn't cruel. It's necessary. Watch for the sudden criticism. The way she talks about you to friends changes. Stories about your relationship become complaints. Your love story becomes a tragedy, where she's the victim and you're the oppressor. She might even start comparing you to other men more openly. Sarah's husband would never. My friend's boyfriend always. These aren't innocent observations. They're building blocks for her justification narrative. But here's what she'll never admit. The problem isn't that you changed. The problem is that she did. Here's the final truth I'll leave you with. A woman who cheats and shows these attitudes isn't just betraying you. She's betraying herself. She's destroying her own integrity, her own character, her own capacity for real intimacy. And you can't save someone from the consequences of their own choices. What you can do is save yourself, preserve your dignity, protect your peace, and remember that you deserve a love that doesn't require you to ignore your instincts or question your sanity. Write in the comments which attitude hit closest to home. Support each other. Brotherhood matters in moments like these. And remember, you deserve honesty. Always. If this video helped you see the truth, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for honest content about relationships and female psychology. And drop your city in the comments. Let's see where my male audience is watching from around the world. Until next time, stay strong, trust your instincts, and never settle for less than you deserve.